right, let's do it.
All right.
What?
Was that your vibrator? Jesus Christ.
I'm pretty sure that Adam has a dildo right now.
Fuck me. It's
How
gonna fuck.
excited? It's gonna fuck you. Yeah. Hey, did you see that Justin picked the Driller Killer on Horror Club?
Yeah.
Are you getting yourself stoked? Are you getting your butthole? Are you preparing your butthole for that discussion?
This is me getting my body ready right now.
But are you twirling a cat by its tail?
I've actually put the drill into the cat, and I'm twirling it around that way.
Oh, you Canadians are weird.
All right, guys. So this is our mailbox episode of Horror Movie Night. It's our first mailbox episode. Possibly it's our last mailbox episode. We'll see how this goes. But we finally have 3 emails that are worth reading on the air. So we just wanted to take
None of them are from us, though, by the way. Let's just get that out.
And side note, none of them are defending Space Invaders either, so thanks a bunch, listeners.
Wow, big fucking shock there, yeah.
So this first email comes from, I'm assuming this is his real name. His name is Royal. Assumably his last name is Tenenbaum. Not sure. But Royal emailed us.
He might be from Horror Club, actually, because I think that Royal something or other is one of the usernames of one of the new fish over there. Not that they're...
Oh, that's true. That's true. So Royal messaged us a while back and said, "Hey guys, long-time listener, first-time mailer. I love the show. I think it's really cool when you guys cover movies that are outside of your comfort zone, so keep it up. While I had never heard of the Psycho Biddy subgenre, Whatever Happened to Baby Jane did launch a bunch of movies starring Golden and Silver Age starlets in tense and mental distressing situations. Be glad that you covered Baby Jane. Except for a select few, The Tingler and Lady in a Cage, a whole lot of them got old real quick, especially anything starring Shelley Winters. Anyway, again, love the show. Keep it going. Thanks for reading." So, I think we discussed this shortly after that episode, but we couldn't figure out what the hell the Psycho Biddy or Betty films were. But I know that Joan Crawford was in a bunch of weird fucking movies after Whatever Happened to Baby Jane. My favorite one was definitely Straight Jacket, which has a very brief scene in Serial Mom by John Waters.
Okay, because so there are 2 ways that I thought that comment was going to go. One, you were going to say that there was a very brief scene with granny nudity and that it really did it for you. And 2, I wasn't sure if you were going to say that she had done a lot of shit and then included some sort of nudity, like she did a Playboy spread or something. I don't know why, Matt. I don't know what your proclivities are. They might be weirder than Adam's, but you're not the one who's using a drill right now. So.
He's also not the one that finds all of his nudity pleasures over on allinternal.com.
Oh, man, that is a throwback. I had forgotten that I told you guys to check out allinternal.com. Hey, by the way...
Are you okay over there? Did you start choking on your own joke?
No, that was the beer I was drinking.
Okay.
I was taking one for the team because I figured Adam was too busy making dinner, so I was going to drink the beer this episode.
Appreciate it. Thank you. I did enough of that before we recorded Creepshow 2.
Yes. Yeah, if anybody can't tell, Adam is massively hungover. So there are actually 5 people on that podcast. There's Adam, me, Cannon, Matt, and Adam's hangover.
Yep, it's got its own ego. It speaks up when it wants to. Oh, fuck,
just wait until we do our retroactive episode for Alligator, because it's basically you're not there. It's me, Matt, and your hangover. It is the weirdest I've ever heard you.
Okay, so here's another email we got from Brian. It says, and this is a bit of a long one, and it's got a couple suggestions of movies we may or may not be discussing in the future. It says, "Hey guys, I'm not sure if it's past the deadline or whatever, or if there even is a deadline, but I just wanted to throw a couple suggestions for your podcast. Firstly, 1989's Monster High. I simply suggest this because I hardly ever see it mentioned or referenced in any capacity. I originally talked about this one on an episode of the St. Mort Show, and can almost guarantee that none of you have ever seen it. Not saying it's good, but I do think that as a listener, it could make for a good episode. Second, for a legitimately great movie that should make a great episode, I nominate the 1985 Chinese film Mr. Vampire. Another one that I'm almost certain that you haven't seen, and I'm convinced that you will be thanking me once you have.
I don't know about that.
It's a very funny film with fantastic choreography and a great introduction to one of my favorite underrated monsters, the Chinese vampire. If you don't do this for the show and are reading this, you should do yourself a favor and still watch the movie. Lastly, and this is more of a question, as you may or may not know, I have made a little movie called Jennifer Help Us. We might have some
it's him!
I'd like to send you guys a copy. Would you consider doing an episode for it? I won't expect you to do anything but express your true feelings on the quality of the film. Plus, I understand you already posted your schedule past that date. If not, it's completely cool. You won't lose a fan. That's it. Keep it up. Thanks for listening, Brian.
Does he not realize that we've been waiting for our copies of Jennifer Help Us for like 2 fucking months? Or
this is a while ago. These are.
Okay. We've been waiting on those. Yeah.
So we're waiting on those. So Brian, absolutely send those copies, and we will be more than happy to talk about Jennifer Help Us. I just recently acquired a copy of Monster High in that collection of binders of movies.
Fucking Monster High! What a terrible decision.
So you've seen that movie before, or are you just assuming it's going to be bad?
Oh no! I watched it within the last calendar year, and it's shit. You're gonna love it.
So here's the question, I guess: is Brian right? Would it be a good episode?
Yes, there's so much to talk about.
Okay.
So much to talk about.
Adam, are you ready? Are you ready to go to Monster High at some point?
Like I have any fucking say in the matter.
Or would you rather us watch Mr. Vampire?
I think he's actually got, or maybe it goes by a different title, because there's a movie called Robo Vampire that
which
I'm pretty sure
about on the podcast before.
Exactly, and I think that's what he's referring to, the Chinese vampire, the one that like hops. And when he says like great choreography, you remember like that crazy ass fucking beach scene and stuff? Like, I think that's what he's talking about. Is that movie?
I mean, we can talk about that.
Okay, so here's a really important email that I got the other day. It doesn't have a name attached to it, surprisingly enough. It says, "Hello, I'm writing to you because I found your profile on Facebook.com and noticed that you're interested in Tomb Raider. I want your insights and opinion on Cast. Cast is a home entertainment hub that smartifies any display in your home to create a wireless radio."
What are you doing right now? Don't give this bullshit spam email any kind of play.
Why did you do this?
I don't know. I just happened to see that one in there when I was looking for the emails to read. Here's the.
Man, I can't wait for like a year from now when we actually have like, well, fingers crossed, we actually have enough for a mailbag like on a semi-regular basis because of all the stupid shit we talk about. Instead of Matt having to fucking sprinkle in spam emails. Hey guys, we're legitimate. We got a spam email.
Hey,
we don't plug any of that stupid shit around here. The only thing we plug is allinternal.com. The one and only place to find gross developmentally disabled girls on the internet.
I love the fact that you can remember the entire conversation that we had about that, because I sure didn't. I had forgotten all about this, but hey, I'm remembering it. It's all coming back to me right now.
All right, and the last legitimate email that I have here is we just got today, at the time of this recording, from Jessica. And it says, "Hello, Horror Movie Night Podcast. My name is Jessica, and I started listening after Matt was the guest on the Greatest Movie Ever podcast. Yeah! When I was young, I loved Scream and the I Know What You Did movies and Urban Legend. When I was living with a person who was about 15 years older than me, she started showing me films like Chud and Fright Night. I remember one movie that I don't remember at all that well, but I've been thinking about rewatching it soon. And that movie is Pumpkinhead. I remember us renting it from Hollywood Video, but I seriously can't remember any of it at all except that it was ridiculous. I probably watched it when I was 15 years old, and now that I'm 30, I think it's time to watch it again and see if it is as ridiculous as I remembered. Maybe it will even be better. I will report back when I have rewatched it. It's available to rent on Amazon, so I may have to do it soon. Thank you for your time, and I cannot wait to listen to the next episode. Jessica. So, this made me think of, who are some of the people that you guys, have very intimate memories of them being the person that showed you the really obscure shit in horror? Because I think, I kind of am right there with Jessica, where, when I was a kid, it was the Scream movies and stuff like that. But it definitely wasn't until I started finding the really weird shit at the local video store that it really changed for me.
I didn't have anybody that told me to watch or not watch stuff. And this was also when I was getting into horror. It was junior high, high school, and that was the 90s. There was really no internet to speak of. There was Angel Fire, but I mean that was there were just fan sites of people who would follow certain actresses like Scream Queens or budding actresses in horror movies. But I mean, I had so the video store was where I would walk the horror aisle and just be like, okay, well, which one do I have enough guts to watch this weekend? And it was 3 for $1 because they were old and DVDs were new and they were the expensive stuff. And so I just watched the VHS, the horror VHSs with the awesome box cover art. I still have it actually, but I had basically it was IMDb before IMDb was digital. It's called Movie Hound's movie guide, and it was thousands of pages long.
I think I have the exact book you're talking about. Was it the Video Hounds horror show, and it had Mike Myers on the cover?
That was way later.
Okay.
Because that was after I think I went to college. But in high school, in junior high I had one, and then in high school I had another one because I think I bought them new and I bought them straight. I think I ordered one actually to the bookstore that was in town and whatever. But those
you had to get a replacement because all the pages on the first one were all stuck together.
They weren't stuck together. They were dog-eared. Fuck you, dude. What about you, jerkface?
I had a friend. Uncle? No, I don't have any creepy uncles.
Well,
Sadly,
I mean, they weren't really your uncle. Maybe they were just the guy that you were supposed to call Uncle Joey or whatever.
Yeah, just Uncle Joey. Is this an episode of Full House? What the fuck?
Yes, dude.
He was always pulling out that fucking chipmunk puppet and bothering you all the time with his silly.
He was just pulling out.
Our show's high art. I'm not sure if the listeners realize that.
We bleed for this shit. So I had a friend that showed me the first Toxic Avenger, and then we very promptly watched Cannibal Holocaust straight after that.
That is a really weird double feature.
You know what? I think we watched Alien Resurrection in between there somewhere. It wasn't a double feature.
Was that your relaxer?
Yeah, exactly. I was like, "Ooh, this stuff's pretty intense." Let's throw on fucking weird symbiote Winona Ryder. She's pulling her mole out so she could put a headphone jack in there. What the fuck's going on in this movie? Anyways,
I'd be A-okay if we did Alien Resurrection for an episode one day, by the way. I'm just throwing that out there.
No. It's a horrible movie. But no, I'm not watching that movie again.
Matt, we're totally doing that shit.
Yes.
Anyways,
I went on vacation indefinitely.
Indefinitely.
Indubitably. It was more an actual video store that I had in my town that was mom and pop and had really no fucking restrictions on what they would let you take. So I was 12 and 13. And I'd come in. Yeah, it really does. I'd go in and I'd see stickers that were absolutely fucking disgusting, banned in 7 countries, and I'd be like, okay, yeah, I'll rent that. I'll watch Necromantic 2 on the couch with my high school girlfriend.
Trying to give her some ideas or what?
He's nudging her, going, huh?
Yeah. What do you think?
Okay. Huge spoilers for Necromantic 2, but he gets the main male character in that movie gets his head cut off during sex by the main female character. So no, I was not trying to nudge her in any kind of direction.
Is that why you like taxidermy? It brings you back to Necromantic 2.
Memories.
Whew. Yeah, it really gives me the vapors. So yeah, it was more so that place, and then once they were like seeing this 12-year-old come in and renting all this fucking horrific shit, which really is what most of it was. It was no good. It wasn't high art like this show. They would give me suggestions for other movies that I should watch, but their suggestions would be things like Pink Flamingos and The Holy Mountain, just like really, really like fucked up shit. So that it gave me a very much so helped me sort of grow my taste for movies as it stands nowadays.
And I honestly screwed 3 sizes too big.
He started having heart palpitations. His heart couldn't grow that fast, that quick.
I think mine was also a video store. Just having a video store that did not care that I was a child, that was absolutely taking advantage of their free rental policy. Because I think I definitely talked about this on the old podcast. I don't know if I talked about it on the recent one, but the video store near my house, they had like the new rentals, which you could only get for 2 nights, but then they had like the older movies, and those were 7-day rentals for like $3. And they had this rule where if you rented a 7-day rental film but brought it back the next day, then you got a free rental.
Oh my god!
So,
dude, no wonder.
So here's
this explains your entire life. You can end the story now, and I understand you so much better.
So the thing was, if you use that free rental on a 7-day rental and brought that back the next day, the system didn't register that was a free rental and would just give you another free rental. So there was one summer where I rented for like 2 months straight off of about $6 worth of rentals. Just like
is that when you watched 8 days a week and then like whatever 100 girls?
That's when I saw every weird movie I could get my hands on. And I would just walk around that video store and be like, all right, Blood Beach, sure. Like, and just grab whatever covers.
Is Blood Beach the Killer Clam?
Yes.
Oh my god, that movie's so terrible.
It's horrendously bad.
This really does explain so much, because they got him into this habit of going and getting these DVDs, and then when they closed up, he went to Walmart and he realized you couldn't just return them, but he couldn't fucking stop. So now he's got like 8,000 of them in his house.
Dude, I think it's only like 3,000, but I mean, we're really splitting hairs now.
It's getting close to 4,000, Scott, I'm just saying.
It's enough that Matt can never leave the house.
Probably.
He can never move.
I can't move. No, it would take way too much effort at this point.
I feel like this is Matt in like 10 years. Matt meets a girl, falls in love, has sex. That's an important step there. And then they're like, she's like, hey, let's move in together. Let's buy a house together. Matt like looks at her and then looks at his massive collection of DVDs. Looks at her, looks at the DVDs, and it's like, honey.
Jump cut to her standing on the sidewalk with her bags packed.
Yeah.
You can take any one DVD as a consolation prize. Goodbye.
Dude, except for his special edition Freaked.
Yeah.
You can't have that.
Yeah, you can't have that. You can't have my bootleg of the Star Wars Holiday Special, because that might become necessary to watch again one day. So real quick, the other reason we're doing this mailbox episode is that at the end of last week's episode, we may have implied that we are going to do a Friday the 13th episode, and timing is just not our friend on that one. Everyone's schedules got a little crazy, so we wanted to give you guys something to make up for the fact that we're not following through with our original plan. So you're getting this mailbag episode right now, and then on Saturday, you're going to be getting a retroactive episode, which if you're an astute listener, you know what it's going to be. But if you somehow didn't catch the biggest hint of all, I will give this lone hint for the movie that we are going to be releasing as the retroactive episode, Roman. So...
Roman for president. Roman for mayor.
One, that wasn't his name.
Oh, Ramon.
Two,
an alligator's name.
two, I have a way better hint for that. Are you ready?
Yeah.
What was that? That's a mating call.
Can I do my impression of someone getting eaten?
Speaking of people getting eaten by killer creatures, mutated large creatures, I watched Ticks today. Finally got my grubby paws on it. And man, when Alfonso Ribeiro explodes into a dog-sized tick, that guy does the exact same thing. He's like, ah!
It's
dude,
like
this. He
Ticks,
smells really bad feet.
Ticks is such a phenomenally good bad 90s horror movie.
It is really entertaining, and it's like really gooey, but in the best, grossest possible way. Like I was eating a peanut butter and jelly sandwich for the first 10 minutes, and I was like, this can wait.
And it's got my favorite of all the Seth Greens, the long-haired redhead Seth Green.
Yeah, the airborne Seth Green.
Rebecca, who sent us our last email, watch Ticks instead of Pumpkinhead.
Jessica.
Do yourself a favor.
Jessica. All right,
man, Pumpkinhead's not great. I'm not on board for Pumpkinhead.
Hey, so Matt and I decided while you were trying to fix your Skype that we should probably watch Pumpkinhead just because we could get a lot of hate out of you.
Oh, God damn.
We met your mom last night, and we realized that we really need to bring the Hulk out at the Canadian Hulk whenever.
A side note, by we met Adam's mom, I mean we tried to call Adam's Skype and she answered the call.
She didn't tell me that.
Adam, we told you that last night. Check your Facebook.
Oh, yeah, you did.
Yeah, she just goes, "Hi, Adam's not here right now." And we're like, "Oh, okay." And she goes, "Are you the guys you do the podcast thing with?" And we're like, "Yeah." She goes, "Yeah, Adam's sleeping." I'm like, "Okay." She goes, "Bye." Click. I'm like, "Okay."
How does this woman create you?
Okay, a couple of questions. What time was this?
This was like, I don't know, 8 in the afternoon, 8 in the evening. Yeah, 8 p.m.
All right. I was still at work. I wasn't sleeping.
Well, this was on Sunday.
Oh, this was on Sunday. Oh, yeah, you're right. I was probably asleep.
That was last night at 8:15 p.m.
It was not because it was Sunday. I was
at a writer's. Sunday?
It was Sunday. That was when we were supposed to record something and weren't able to.
Is today just Monday?
Today's Tuesday.
Okay. Wow. Fuck.
This is a good ending to an episode.
This is the most lackluster ending to any episode.
If you want more riveting mailbag episodes like this, shoot us your emails at hmnpodcast@gmail.com.
Hey, can you please go find something funny or embarrassing that I said when we hung out in the spring? Splice it into this episode like you did last week, you asshole.
You're listening to the Geekscape Network.